So first things first, we duplicate the layer and we convert it to a smart object. After that, we head over to the blur menu and we add a motion blur. We set the angle to 0. Of course, if you want it to be differently blurred, you can play around with the angles as well. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'll keep it to 0. Then you play around with the distance. For the first layer, we don't want the distance to be at high levels because we want uh, less blurriness in this layer. We hit OK, and what that does is that it applies the motion blur to our layer, but since it's a smart object, it applies a layer mask as well. If you're not really familiar with how layer masks work, ultimately this white part means that 100% of the motion blur that we have set will be applied to the layer. What you can do is you can take the brush and choose black color and head over to the mask, and then you can paint over the mask that you created to cancel out the effect where you don't want it to be applied. In this case, the black area means that the motion blur will not be applied. As you can see, it's not applied here on his hand, but is applied to his other hand, shoulder, and head. Next thing we do is we copy the layer we worked on and we delete the filter mask. We head over to the motion blur effect and we hit edit smart filter. Now we increase the pixels to get a more blurry effect. After we have done this, we head over here and add a layer. After we have done this, we take the brush again, we set it to black, and we basically paint over the parts that we don't want to see. Now you may think, how is this differently than the first layer we edited? Well, basically, now working on the second duplicate layer, we can see that we applied a little bit, you can see that we applied more blurriness to this left side. After we are done with this, we select the two layers and once again we hit convert to smart object. Then we head over to the filter menu and we choose filter gallery. Here we choose the graphic pen. We set it to be horizontal and we start playing around with the settings until we get our desired results. Of course, you can edit the settings to your liking. After we have added our graphic pen, we hit new effect layer and this time we choose half tone pattern. After we have done this, we set the pattern line to be lines. You can set it to be circles or dots, whatever you want, but I will be using line. Then we start playing around with the settings as well, controlling the size of the lines. Now I want to keep a little more details, so I'm gonna keep the size at lower values. Okay, this seems good. So as you can see, it looks a little bit dramatic and a lot of details have been lost in the process. So what we're gonna do is just lower the opacity. Of course, if you want to change the filters that we applied, you can double click the filter gallery here and play around with the settings once again. And just like that, we are done.